Hey all, welcome back to the Fire and Water Cooking Channel. I am Darren, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different from you guys, and this is going to be a cook in the Anova oven. We're going to do a couple chuck roasts in a couple different ways and see how they turn out. I'll be right back.
Smoking, grilling, getting hot and hotter, sous vide and chilling from fire and water.
Alright guys, so my oven is almost up to temp, and like I said, I used the app with the recipe from the app, and I guess the recipe is without a bag, but I'm going to try it with a bag and without. These are chuck steaks. I said chuck roast. Well, they're thick chuck steaks, so they're technically chuck roasts, but I'll kind of show you here what they look like. So probably about 2 inches thick chuck steaks, and one of them I'm going to leave in the package here, and the other one I'm going to put on a rack just like that, and a pan. Now the app is calling for 134 degrees or 135, yeah, 134 for 27 hours at 100% steam with the sous vide mode on, and that's where it's at right now. It just hit temp, so I'm going to go ahead, put both of these in. I'm going to put the one that's on the rack on the bottom here. And that just clears it. And then I'm going to put the one that's in the bag. They're both seasoned, salt, pepper, and garlic, so there's really no difference. And I'm going to go ahead and stick that in there. I want to make sure that the app is not requiring a probe, which I don't think it was. It was actually just cooking by time. So I'm going to let that let those cook just like they are. We're going to see which one of these turns out better, the one outside the bag or the one inside the bag. And we're going to finish them off the same exact way on the Traeger Timberline. We're going to heat that up to 450 to 500, get them a nice sear on the Traeger, see how they turn out. So I'll see you guys in 27 hours. Alright guys, it's about 20 minutes before the APO is going to be done here, so I'm going to go ahead and get my Traeger set up. I think I'm going to set it at like 450, and we're going to set the timer at like 45 minutes or so. So let me get this set up. By the time this is ready to go, the chuck roast will be done and ready to get put on. Get a little bit of heat to them. Alright, I'll be right back with the chuck roast. Alright guys, my oven is saying there's 12 minutes left, but my Traeger says it's all up and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out and get them on the Traeger to get some smoke and color. Alright guys, here we go. The one that was in the bag, you can tell it looks like the myoglobin in this one processed a little bit different than the other. I'm going to go ahead and pat these dry. This is the one that was outside of the bag. Yeah, these are kind of fatty chuck steaks. This was from the cow full steer I bought from my friend. And the processor, the way he processed these is kind of weird to me, but you got some big fat lines there, and we're going to try to render some of that down. I'm going to put just a little bit more salt, pepper, and garlic on these. They were both seasoned in the bag before. Get more of that moisture off. And that's about it. So like I said, as you can tell, it looks like since this was in the bag, the myoglobin inside the meat itself looks like it got a little bit more dark here than this, where a lot of it you can tell rendered outside of the meat, so it was all in the bottom of the pan. So maybe that's a difference, but we'll see how they taste side by side. I'm going to go throw these on the Traeger, get some caramelization or some Maillard reaction to them, and then we'll be back. All right, my Traeger's ready to go. The chuck roaster ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and stick these on right on the bottom rack. And I got the rack all the way down set to the bottom, so closer to the flame, so I can get a little bit more of that Maillard reaction there, get closer to the heat. So I'll be putting these on. I'm going to stick a probe in just to kind of make sure they don't get too overcooked, but I'm not going to have them on here for very long. So these are thin, so I'm just going to stick it in as little as possible, but I'll be right back. All right, guys, they've been on there about 8 or 10 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and give these a flip so we can get the other side good. Well, I'll be right back. Well, all right, guys, it's done. And as you can tell here, the one here on the right is the one that was outside of the bag in the Anova Precision Oven. It's got a lot of extra fat on there. I'm going to trim a lot of this fat off, and a lot of the connective tissue. They just happen to be really fatty, so I'm going to trim these off. This one here on the left is the one that was inside the sous vide bag in the Anova oven. And as you can tell, since the myoglobin was still stuck to the meat, it looks like the Maillard reaction looks a little darker on it because of that. Now we're going to make sure that we test them out and taste them and see what the taste difference is. They're both cooked pretty much the same, both a medium, so I don't think the doneness level is any different on either one of these. So as you can tell, this one's kind of medium. I know the light's kind of bright, but it was getting dark out. So, but they're both, you know, the doneness level was about the same, so I really couldn't say anything about that. Just the outside looked a little bit different. Tenderness was pretty good on this one, especially the one outside of the bag. So I really, you know, it was a pretty good cook. The only difference, like I said, that I could tell was the outside, the Maillard reaction and the myoglobin that was on the meat, that on the one inside the bag is the biggest difference. They both were really tender. They both cut really easy, and the doneness, like I said, was very similar on both of them. I didn't have any issue with either one of them with the tenderness. So, you know, pretty good cooks overall. I mean, so you can do either one. You can cook in the bag or outside the bag. I don't think you're going to be able to tell much difference. Like I said, the tenderness, the flavor, everything was there. Just a little bit of difference in the color because the myoglobin on this chuck steak compared to the other one stuck to the meat, where the other one it kind of went to the bottom of the pan. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. If you're looking at the Anova Precision Oven, check it out. It does a lot of different things, but this is just one of the things I wanted to test. So thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure you follow us on our Fire and Water Cooking podcast. Check out the Fire and Water Cooking book on Amazon as well. And I'll see you again on the next Fire and Water Cooking video.